Greetings dear friends, this is your personal English coach Professor DC. In this video we are going to understand a poem that's written as a metaphor to convey a profound meaning of life. This poem is called Uphill. This was written by Victorian Era's one of the finest poetess, Christina Rossetti, who was born in London, England, and was very famous for writing children's poems, alongside her contribution in spiritual and romantic poems for different age groups. Now let us talk about this poem in general. Any poem that is written is penned down after deep observations and experiences. Here too, Christina has experienced something about life, which she has explained using an analogy. She wrote this poem when she was just 28 years old. Apparently, she died at an early age of 64 in the year 1894. So, what is this poem all about? And why is it so famous that it has ended up in your textbooks? As I stated already, this poem is about life, the way it is designed, and the way an individual has to sail through it from Christina's perspective. It is a well-known poem, as majority of the people are able to agree to her views and relate the idea with their own lives. So how is this poem structured? On my screen, you can see the original poem on the left with the meanings of difficult words on its right. Perhaps it is a very simple poem and it does not have too many difficult words that you have to open a dictionary for, unlike other poems. As you can already see, there are 16 lines divided into 4 stanzas with the rhyming scheme ABAB, which means the last word of line 1 will match the last word of line 3 and the last word of line 2 will match that of line 4, so on and so forth. To have a clear understanding of this poem, I want you to put your imagination skills into play, because we are going to first understand the literal meaning followed by the hidden or profound metaphorical meaning for each line and hence each stanza. Alright, let's get started. I am sure you would have gone for trips where you had to trek or climb a steep slope. If you are a fan of trekking, you may understand this even better. Let us assume that you planned a trek on a hill. Let us refresh our memories from your geography lessons. What is a hill? It is a naturally raised area of land, not as high as a mountain, but it is a raised area of a land. It may be steep, it may not be steep. Let us imagine that you are a solo traveler. You love traveling alone, and that you had never heard about this hill before. You just have planned it because your friends told you about it, and this is your very first visit. All you know is this hill is difficult to climb, and it may be time consuming as well. Nonetheless, because it is trekking, you are excited, and trekking is something you absolutely love. To make things easy, you have hired a guide who will be assisting you. This person who is escorting you has been on this hill several times and is aware of exactly how the journey would be. Now, you started off climbing the hill with full rigor and energy at 5 a.m. in the morning. You are enjoying everything that comes along the way. The fresh breeze, the smell of flowers, the view, etc. This goes on for 5 hours. Now it is 10 a.m. in the morning. The sun is gradually getting intense. Not only that, you are losing confidence as you are exhausted and you need to rest. You never thought it would be this difficult. So you start getting a little nervous and start asking a lot of questions to your guide. And as he has been there several times, he is answering your questions calmly and clearly. If you have had a clear imagination of whatever I said so far, you are in a good position to clearly understand the literal meaning of this poem now. The title of the poem here is Uphill. By now, you already know that this poem is about climbing up a hill. Now, you are a bit confused. You are asking, did you not mention that this poem was about life? Yes, climbing up a hill is compared to that of The Journey of Life by Christina Rossetti. So, you also know that the poem is arranged in a question-answer format, where every first line is a question and every second line is the answer. We will finish understanding the literal meaning first, and then we will jump on to the profound or metaphorical hidden meaning of this poem. Let us start with the first stanza. Also, note that in the first stanza there are only two difficult words. First one is wind and second one is uphill. Be careful of the pronunciation. It is not wind, it is wind. When you wind up something, you finally bring that activity to a conclusion. When you wind up something, you try to finish that particular task. Second word is uphill. Uphill means leading to a higher place on a slope. So you can run uphill, you can climb a hill, which is called an uphill climbing. The other words are very easy to understand. There are two speakers, as you already can imagine. Let's assume that the first one is you and the next one is your guide. As I mentioned, it is 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. The sun is getting intense. You're exhausted. You're asking questions now. The path that is full of obstacles, is this going to be this hard till we reach the top? Is there no place where there are no difficult obstacles to clear? Is there no area of the hill which is smooth and easy? Line number 1. Line number 2, the guide answers and says, unfortunately, the path that we are traversing is the same till the end. We will have to keep facing challenges throughout the way. There is no shortcut. Line number 3. Will the day's journey take the whole long day? Meaning, will the day's journey, is it going to consume the whole day? How far are we to the destination? Because we have been walking like this from hours now. Is it going to take up the whole day? I'm really tired. I need rest. I need refreshment. So how far is it? The guide answers. Calmly and patiently, he says, it will be night before we reach. Meaning, it is going to take up the whole day and the route is definitely very long. In short, if we talk about the literal meaning of the first stanza, your tour guide is telling you that not only is the journey difficult, but it is also lengthy and that we should carry on. Next stanza. Let me read out the next stanza first. It says, but is there for the night a resting place, a roof for when the slow dark hours begin? May not the darkness hide it from my face? You cannot miss that in. Let's break down the meaning. Meanings of the difficult words. There's only one difficult word here, I-double-N, inn. Inn is a house providing accommodation, food and drinks, specially to the travelers. I'm sure while you're traveling, you must have seen buildings called inns. So, let's understand the meaning of the second stanza, line number 5. You had no choice but to obey and agree to his answers in the first stanza. You're okay with the path being taxing and demanding and lengthy. Now you're worried about what will happen at night. Are there many wild animals coming out? There are apparently. You may have to stay awake and keep walking. This was not possible as you needed rest already. So to clear your doubts and out of anxiety, you ask whether there was a place at the top where you can comfortably relax and recharge. So your guide, the escort, is giving a simple and generic answer. He says, yes, there will be a roof over our head when gradually the night ascends. When slowly after 6 p.m. the sun sets and gradually it starts becoming dark, the guide confirms that yes, we will have a place to rest. he doesn't give the specifics. He doesn't mention whether it is a 5-star hotel or a restaurant or what was it. Now, line number 7. May not the darkness hide it from my face, you ask? You know that there is a place to rest by now. All that is worrying you now is whether you will be able to see that place at night. It is very possible that you miss it, as it will be dark and the road will not be clearly visible. The path is clumsy at night, so you are asking your guide if the resting place will be visible and whether we will reach comfortably. Your guide answers in line number 8. He says, with utmost confidence, that it is highly impossible that we miss that place. Here, inn is used as a reference to a place where they can rest. So in short, he assures that there is a place where they can rest and they will definitely reach the place in the end. Friends, I'm just talking about the literal meaning. We haven't reached a point where we discuss the metaphorical meaning, so stay tuned. Stanza number 3. Let me read it out first. It says, shall I meet other wayfarers at night, those who have gone before? Then I must knock or call when just in sight. They will not keep you standing at the door. Meanings of difficult words. Wayfarer. Way is a road, obviously, and farer is a traveler. So a person who travels on foot is called a wayfarer. No other difficult words here. So let's try to understand the meaning of stanza number 3. Now you're worried about being lonely because the spot where you are unable to see anyone. You also cannot believe that there would be other people who would have faced a lot of issues and crossed the path. So out of curiosity you ask, are we going to meet more people there at the resting place? Will there be a good amount of people at the final goal or destination? To that, line number 10, your guide calmly says, obviously. Many people have walked this path already before us, and those who have gone and reached at the top will be there, do not worry. Next, line number 11, your question comes. You ask, because you're feeling a little isolated, the question you ask is, can I have other people around me? Because I'm feeling isolated, I need someone to talk to. As you're feeling a little isolated, you feel like talking to someone at the resting place. So now that you know that you'll meet some people at the top, you are asking your guide if you can talk to them. Give them a buzz or a call when you see them. You're wondering, how would you talk to them? Would the inn owner allow you inside? Would you have to knock the door of the so-called inn to awaken them? How would you be admitted inside the inn? So many questions you have to ask to your guide. Your guide is a calm and quiet person. He is an experienced person. And here comes the response, line number 12. The guide said, see, once we reach to the inn, the door opens automatically, and whoever reaches there is allowed inside. All the people who reach there are allowed inside automatically. It has never happened that people are waiting for admission inside. You don't have to take any appointment. As soon as you reach the top, as soon as we see the inn, you are allowed inside. Alright, so we are done with stanza number 1, 2, 3, the literal meaning. And by now you know that the journey is long and hard. There is a resting place and that you will get a nice and comfortable room alongside people to talk to. We have reached the final stanza. Let me read it out first. Shall I find comfort, travel sore and weak? Of labor you shall find the sum. Will there be beds for me and all who seek? Yeah, beds for all who come. Meanings of difficult words. Sore is being tired and weak again. I have mentioned it here. So when let's say for example, if your legs get sore, it means your legs are aching. So here the word used is travel sore. You are tired. I mean, your body is tired out of traveling. So it's not a particular part of the body that is sore. You are overall tired. The next word here is labor. Labor is nothing but effort or hard work. When you say you've put in labor, it means you've put in a lot of hard work. Finally, the last word meaning is seek. Seek means attempt to find. When you are seeking your mark sheet, you are trying to find your mark sheet. Alright, let's understand the literal meaning now. Line number 13. You're wondering about the facilities of that resting place. How are the beds? Do they have AC or proper ventilation? Will you be comfortable? As you will already be torn and tattered from the 12-hour arduous journey, you ask all kind of questions to your travel guide. Line number 14, he answers, all the effort, all the labor you have put in while you were climbing, all the hard work that you have put in on this trek, all the fatigue that you have because of the trek will be totally addressed. It will be truly and fully vanished. Final question you're asking in line number 15 is, the cozy and comfortable beds you're talking about, are they available for me? Are there beds for everyone? You're finding it very hard to believe. How is it possible that so many people who are climbing up the difficult hill have been admitted? How is it possible that everybody got inside and they are comfortable? To this, your guide says, believe me or not, there are beds, and best beds for each and every person. He says each person who enters the inn has a bed reserved. You don't have to panic. Alright friends, we are done with the literal meaning. We have reached the end of the poem, and I hope you have understood the literal meaning. When I say literal meaning, it means the direct meaning of the lines mentioned. Now it's time to understand the deep metaphor, the comparisons that poetess have made. First of all, it is very clear that the poetess herself, or maybe the people around her, are facing life full of challenges. It may be because of this very fact that she decided to write this poem. As I stated earlier, she has called life an uphill journey. Right from the moment you're born, you have to keep accomplishing tasks, you have to solve problems, face challenges, no matter how old you get. The process is ongoing. The process is never ending. This is compared with climbing a steep hill, where you may need to jump, you may need to swim, you may need to keep walking tirelessly for miles and miles. Life is an uphill journey is what she means by the title. We have understood the title. Now it's time to do a post-mortem of each and every stanza, metaphorically. So if we talk about the stanza number 1, the metaphorical message here from line 1 and 2 is, life is a challenging journey till the very end. You need to keep pushing yourself without giving up and keep moving forward. You need to face your fears, fight your weaknesses, and no matter what happens, keep progressing till you grow old. Line number 3 and 4 implies that there will not be a phase in your life where you do not have to face problems. Life does not have junctions where you are in a state of ecstasy, where you are in a state of enjoyment even for a short period of time. From morning to night means right from when you're born until you die, you will have to address problems. Every time. You'll have to get up every time you fall. Metaphorical meaning of the second stanza, line number 5 to 8. Here the resting place is heaven. The darkness is the old age or the diseases that come along. Everyone who passes through life at some point or the other will be dying due to illness or old age, or maybe for any reason. Each one will go through heaven, or so to say, the resting place, heavenly abode eventually. Can we miss dying when we already know that the time has come for us to meet God? It is impossible. This is referred to in line number 7 and 8. Even if you are not in your good health, one thing you know for sure, that sooner or later you will be dying, and death is inevitable. No living being on this earth can miss an event like death. Third stanza, from line number 9 to 12. Do other people face similar challenges as you do? Of course, there are people who are suffering 10 times more than you are, and then there are people who have sufferings 10 times less than you are. So there are people above you, there are people below you, but they are somehow moving on in their life every single day. There are so many companions that we have, and the way the journey of life is designed is same for all. We are born, we live our lives, sail through the journey, and eventually die. Line number 11 and 12 suggests that you do not need to decide the time of your death. You do not need to wait in the line. That's not how it works. There is no queue in God's kingdom for people who die. When you die, you do not have to make any call or knock. No one's going to keep you waiting. When it is destined, you will leave the earth and reach nirvana. Stanza number 4, line number 13 to 16. This stanza is referring to what happens after death. Is death comforting? Yes, it is. Every pain, experience, challenges, problems that you would have faced or accumulated, death will be the end of all. Death takes all that away from you in totality. That is why the word sum is used. It is a complete termination of all that you have faced in life and all that had made you worry or anxious. Line number 15 and 16. The significance of beds is the resting place for them who succeed at passing the uphill journey. Will your close ones be there while you are counting your last breath? Will there be appropriate arrangements made? If these things are not present, yet you will be able to put an end to your problems after death in heaven. All this end up in an affirmative tone. Once a person is successful in traversing the journey of life, no matter how hard it is, when it is time to say goodbye, the Almighty will take care of the final moments without any discrimination, and also with a complete assurance that your pain will go away. So friends, I hope you have understood the literal meaning and the metaphorical meaning both. Here the journey of life is one of the spiritual journeys that everybody have to go through. However, it is not an easy one, is what Christina says. It can be a challenge, it can be a battle, it can be a war. But this war has to be fought by each and every one. You and I have to know how to overcome our problems. That is a positive message. And with this positive note, I come to the end of explanation of the poem Uphill by Christina Rossetti. I hope you've understood this poem in and out by now. If you still have questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. Either myself or your fellow friends who are watching this channel, who have watched this video, will be able to answer. I thank you for your time and sending you good vibes. Goodbye, and do take care of yourself. Thank you.